Hello, the Africa Centre. How can I help you? Yeah, we're on Abbey Street Lower in the Methodist Church building, and we're open from 9 till 5. Or you can go on our website at www.africacentre.ie.
The Africa Centre began in 2001. It was established by a number of African activists who wanted to bring out issues that had to do with Africans in Ireland, and also issues that were happening on the continent of Africa. Well, it was initially started as a small group of immigrants gathering, but then it got formally registered in 2002 as a charity, and that's when the real work started. Since that time, the Africa Centre began to organize programs, social events, and so on. Well, at the time, that period saw the commencement of African immigrants moving into Ireland, and it was an increase. And at the time, there were no structures in place to deal with issues that had to do with Africans, and so the community felt there was the need for a centre which would focus on the issues that are affecting them. Generally, you would see people in need of employment, people in need of education, people in need of immigration issues. We carry out a number of activities, number of programs. The Africa Centre, we have a development education program. We work with refugees and asylum seekers. We also work with other organizations to facilitate integration. Next week, for example, we're hosting a new initiative which is called the African Health Initiative, and that is also to look into the health issues of Africans and how they can more easily access, health facilities that are available in the country. The Africa Also Smiles campaign is a development education tool that we use. We developed this because we wanted to challenge the imaging and the messaging that has come with where Africa is concerned in Ireland. When you look across the spectrum, where the press is concerned, the media, the television, the news media, and the print media, as well as the televisions and the radios, a lot of information you get on Africa has to do with chaos, has to do with war, has to do with famine, has to do with people who are dying, and a number of organizations have used that to their advantage to kind of try and use that in fundraising and so on. But what we are coming out to say is that the dignity and the resilience of African's people should not be disregarded despite the scars of war, poverty, and disease. And we are also saying that the wars, the conflicts are not the only things that are happening in Africa. Good things are also happening. By Africa Also Smiles, we mean that give a balance. There are good sides of the place, there are bad sides. We launched a first one in 2004 where we tried to encourage Africans to vote in the local elections. Now, this year we increased the tempo because we realized that there are more Africans in the system and they are more eligible to vote. And majority of the Africans would have been here for over 6 months. So we launched this campaign to get them to first of all register. And we've made quite a good impact because currently we have a good, I would say, over 10 candidates who really want to stand elections. During the Africa Day celebrations, we also host a concert. Last year we had a concert with, we brought in a very well-known African musician called Kandabongo Man. And he came and played at the Ambassador Theatre. And I must say that it was a good 30–40% Irish population in there, and then other immigrants as well. The African population was about maybe 40%, and this year we're going to be hosting another concert which will be held in the National Boxing Arena, and we bring in this artist called Mayway. He's a very popular African artist. He comes from the Ivory Coast, and we're hosting him this year for our concert, which will be on the 23rd of May this year. Now, apart from that, we host other things. We have storytelling nights. You know, we call it the Moonlight Talks, where we have a setting and we have an African setting, trees and everything, and we tell African stories. So there are a number of areas that we get the Irish and the African communities to integrate and to mix. What the Africa Centre really needs is a major funder who would fund us in a way that we'll be able to be settled in a decent, you know, office setting and be able to really expand our activities. We're currently awaiting results from a funding application we've put in, which would expand our work. We're looking to open a desk office in Limerick, Galway and Cork. So we're hoping that once we get that as well, we can then expand our activities. My hope for the Africa Centre is for the organization to become the focal point for issues relating to Africa. I have a plan or a dream for Africa Centre to own their own building, have our own offices, and be able to have facilities available to the community where people can walk in if they have a break from school or if they have a break from work, and we would have a resource center, a library. Well, our mission is to ensure that Ireland becomes an all-inclusive, all-embracing society where Africans would also be able to participate fully in the integration process of the country, as well as contribute their maximum to the development of Ireland.